Yo, Netflix, what up? Yeah, I'm the one that reviews Love on the Spectrum. Oh, you got a new show coming out? About people with Down syndrome? Looking for love? Yeah, I'll check it out. What's it called? I'm sorry, what? All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, today I'm doing a spoiler-free review of a new Netflix dating reality show called Down for Love. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular taste takers, you got another thing coming if you think I'm gonna make a dad joke about Down syndrome. So you might as well just go on to the next thing. But if I was gonna make one, I'll probably say something. No, I'm just kidding. All right, quick background here. Down for Love is a new Netflix reality dating show that's not really new and not really Netflix's. This is a show that was created in New Zealand and was released last year in 2022. It's very similar to Love on the Spectrum, which was a show that was made in Australia and then Netflix just bought it up. I mean, it sounds like all predatory and stuff, but it's actually cool because it gets these kind of shows in front of a bigger audience. So, you know, Down for Love was directed and narrated by a woman named Candida Beveridge, and it's already getting a lot of love. Last year, it won the New Zealand TV Award for Best Reality Show, and it already got signed off for a second season, which I'm sure Netflix will buy that too. Also, let me just talk about New Zealand for a second. This is not even important, but I just have to address this. There's a scene in the show where like one of the couples goes on a beach date. And of course, you go to the beach, you go for a little walk in the sand. So this couple is just walking along the beach and they leave their shoes, you know, like where their stuff is at. But they leave their cell phone like right out on the sand, like just like on the ledge. And they just walk away from it. And my American ass was like, bruh, put your phone away. Then I realized that New Zealand is the second safest country on the planet. So I guess it's fine. The United States is ranked 129, so there's a little room for improvement. Anyway, enough about that. Now, a lot of times with shows like this, I can't help but wonder how the community feels like they're being portrayed. And it's always like a mixed bag of like emotions and feelings. Some people are like, oh, it's good to put them on a platform, give them a voice and show that they're just looking for love like everybody else. And then some people could call it like exploitive or whatever, and you know, they just be hating on it and stuff like that. But it was cool to know that this show, Down for Love, was actually done in collaboration and consultation with the New Zealand Down Syndrome Association. So that's pretty cool. And if you stay to the end of this video, I will give a very amateur breakdown of what Down syndrome is and different ways you can support if you so choose. But first, let's get into the show. Down for Love is a 5-episode series, about 45 minutes each, that just follows various New Zealanders with Down syndrome that are looking for love. I'm gonna try not to compare this show to Love on the Spectrum so much, but like sometimes you just gotta compare. So like, just like Love on the Spectrum, most of this cast has never been on a date before, much less had a boyfriend or girlfriend. But they do highlight one couple that's been together for a long time, and they bring in one of the singles to meet them, which is like a cool little thing. It's like, so, you know, they can see that it can be done and how it works for them. All right, I'm gonna do a super fast breakdown of the main cast. First up, we got Josh, and Josh is about 21. He wants a girl that's nice and awesome because he likes cuddling and kissing. Josh lives with his parents and he loves wrestling. One of the standout moments for Josh is when he's on his date with Haley and he asks her, hey, have you ever been to a concert before? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, did you see Michael Jackson? And she's like, no. That's very nice. Because like she couldn't have, like, but the fact that you asked, that means you're cool with me. Next up, we got Libby, and Libby's probably my favorite on the whole show. I don't like to pick favorites, except I do like to pick favorites. Libby's 19 years old, and she lives with her grandma. She lives with her grandma because her mom died of brain cancer when she was like 12 years old. And it's crazy sad when she brings it up, because you can tell she thinks about it constantly. And like I obviously didn't cry, but if you're someone that's cry likely, I would just say to be on alert. Libby's also an actress, and she actually starred in a movie about a girl living with Down syndrome. And she models. This girl like does everything. One of the standout moments for Libby is when she's on her date with Damien and they're talking about their families, and Damien tells her like his dad's not around because he has a new life now. And Libby's like, yeah, so does mine. You know, like, all right, enough. Next up, we got Liesl. And Liesl's 22 and she wants a boyfriend so that they can hang out. And after they're done hanging out, he can give her a snuggle. Liesl lives with her parents and her brother. Before she was born, the doctor told Liesl's mom that she wasn't gonna make it. Now she has her own cosmetics business. You'd love to see it. I guess one of the standout moments with Liesl is when she's on her date with Braden. And Braden's trying to explain to us how they're like peanut butter and jelly. And he's like, yeah, she's jelly because she's warm on the inside and floppy on the outside. And I'm peanut butter because I like peanut butter. All right. Then we got Carlos Antonio, who's about 30 years old. He's big into photography and he's just looking for someone to share his life with. Carlos was born in Bolivia and the doctor told his mom that he would never pass the mental age of 8 years old or he'll just die by like 5 years old. Now he's winning photography awards. Not to mention that he speaks Spanish, French, English, German, and Portuguese. Like all of those. Carlos is a real nice dude. He's got a lot of standout moments. But I would say one of them is when he said, I don't know if I'll find love, but having a friend to talk about anything and everything, that is the most important.
I don't like her. What? I love her.
Next, we got John, who's 38. He wants to find love to have sex a little bit. These are his words, not mine. He's into sculpting and painting. No big deal. He also won a gold medal in the Special Olympics. His house burned down when he was a teenager, and that's when he met this woman named Allison, who created this center for people with disabilities called Otago Living Options, and now he works there. Standout moment for John is when he's on a date, and his date tells him that she would like to have him as her boyfriend, and he says, yes, you may. Like, that's very nice of you, John, for giving her the opportunity. Then there's Lily, who says she wants to find love because she says that's what it means to be human, to be loved. Lily lives with her brother who also has Down syndrome. Her birth parents gave her up and she was adopted by a family who says they wanted a challenge. It's obviously a nice gesture, it just comes across crazy. She's also into acting and theater and she's real cool too. One of her standout moments is when she got down on one knee at the bowling alley and asked her date to be her boyfriend. He said yeah. I guess that's a spoiler. Last two here, we got Lily Mae, who lives with her parents and 4 siblings. Lily Mae wants to make and produce music, and she also models. Lily Mae is also real cool, and one thing I noticed about her is that when she was growing up with those siblings, like they made it a point to treat her as an equal. They were like, we're not going easy on you because you got Down syndrome, so like just figure it out, which probably like made her feel like an equal and not like less than her siblings. Lily Mae is great, and I guess one of her standout moments is when she tells her date, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take a nap now. But like, on the date. And then proceeded to take a nap on her date. I guess it's kind of like Love is Blind when the girl fell asleep in the pods, but at least here, Lily Mae gave a heads up. He was cool about it. Plus, on their second date, he did the moonwalk, so he's already like good in my books. And they got a second date, so he wasn't even tripping about the sleep thing. And last but not least, we got Daniel, who's 38. He wants to go on a date where they can look up at the stars and have a drink. He says, love is a feeling that just calms me down. Daniel's brother also has Down syndrome, but he's had a girlfriend for like 15 years. This family is like huge. Like Daniel's parents adopted Daniel's brother when they already had like 8 kids. Daniel doesn't get a lot of screen time, but he's easily one of the nicest guys on the whole show. His date was a fishing trip with a girl who wasn't having the best time. I guess one of his standout moments was at the end of the date, and he's asking her like, hey, did you have a fun time fishing today? And she's like, no, I'm seasick. And he's like, I know. I'll give you a helping hand. I'm like, damn, he's a good dude. Cause you know like how many like neurotypical people would go on a date where they know the girl was not having a good time and she was being a little grumpy and frumpy, and they would probably go on Instagram stories or TikTok and tell everybody how annoying they were and how lame they were. But like he's telling her, I'll give you a helping hand. So what's my take? You already know my damn take. Literally, no one asked for this show, but it's just so damn nice. And I am done comparing this show to Love on the Spectrum. But if I had to just do one more little comparison, I would have to say that I enjoyed those seasons just a little bit more. It doesn't need to be compared, and everything don't gotta be a competition, but you know? And if you watch those videos that I made about Love on the Spectrum, I think 3 different seasons, what do I always say? It's one thing to be like, yeah, it's impressive to see these people looking for love and all that, but the true heroes are always the parents. I can only imagine, no, I can't even imagine how hard it is to like raise kids like this when the doctors are telling you this, doctors are telling you that, this kid won't make it, this kid won't be smart, this kid won't mature past 8, and then you're just like proving them wrong. I mean, I'm sure sometimes it do be like that, but like, you know, we're just seeing different examples here. And it's like, what they become is like probably so like inspiring, and like they just probably feel so like proud. And no matter what, even if they didn't do all these things, they know that their kid is perfect the way they are. It's just too nice. They're so invested in their kids finding love. And where I would imagine a lot of the times when the kid was younger, they probably never thought they could have a relationship or get married in the future. And it's just, they do anything they can to support them, where they could be like giving a pep talk, putting sunscreen on your son. Like one mom gave her kid like a book of icebreaker questions in case he ran out of things to say on his date. Like, just call your parents. If you can, just check in and just show some love. Another cool thing about this show is how they bring in all these experts to help support these people in their journey for love. You got Dave Hicks, who's a relationship coach. You got Carolyn O'Neill, who's an intimacy coach for people with disabilities. Like things you might not even think about, but it's like, it takes a village, and like they're pulling out like all the stops to help support these people like as best as they can. Listen, y'all know how much I love some trashy Netflix reality dating shows, but sometimes you just want something a little more wholesome, and that is Down for Love. My initial opinion is always like, I wish they went into more of like the science side, where it's like, what is Down syndrome? What causes Down syndrome? You know, like stuff like that. But then I realized like maybe the producers are like, no, we don't need that. Because if you lean in too much to like all this science stuff, it might take people out of the show and think something really is wrong with them, instead of like, no, these are people that are hopeless romantics. These people are just people, not patients. I didn't know so much about Down syndrome, so I did a little research. Now I got a little information to share with y'all. Of course, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm just a YouTuber. This is also not financial advice. Whatever I'm supposed to say to not get sued. Anyway, like I said, I'm not comparing this show to Love on the Spectrum, but you might be wondering what's the difference between Down syndrome and autism. And like the simple answer is that autism is a spectrum disorder and Down syndrome is a genetic disorder. All that basically means is that while people with autism can have a wide range of symptoms and abilities, people with Down syndrome typically have very similar physical and intellectual characteristics. Another major difference is that autism is typically diagnosed in early childhood, while Down syndrome is diagnosed at birth. But Tate, how does Down syndrome happen? All right, look, it's basically when two people love each other, right? And they want to get a little freaky deaky. All right, I'm just kidding. But it does really all go down during conception. There's 3 different types of Down syndrome, but 95% of them are trisomy 21. Tate, what the hell is trisomy 21? Just relax. I'm gonna teach you. So boom. Each one of our cells has 23 pairs of chromosomes. One from your mom, one from your dad. For those of you counting at home, that's 46 total chromosomes per cell. Now, try to use your imagination and visualize if there was like a chart that listed out all of our pairs of chromosomes 1 through 23. Kind of just like a cute little chart. Okay. Now, you can get an extra chromosome, theoretically, on any of these 23. Most of the time, on a lot of these numbers, it will lead to death. But also, most of the time, if you do get an extra chromosome, it is most likely going to be on that 21st pair. That's what causes Down syndrome. Doctors, scientists, YouTubers don't know what causes this to happen. It kind of just does. But what they do know is that it's no one's fault. It's not mom's fault. It's not dad's fault. And there's nothing you can do before pregnancy, during pregnancy, after pregnancy to prevent this. Now, you might have heard people say that people in their like late 30s and 40s have like a higher chance of delivering a child with Down syndrome. But what doctors are seeing now is that even like younger moms are delivering babies with that extra chromosome. So it's not even that. In the United States, about 6,000 babies per year are born with Down syndrome. That's like 1 in 700 babies. But unfortunately, that number is not decreasing. And as much as I wish that I was an expert on genetic engineering, believe it or not, I am no such thing. But there's been a lot of research and development around that very topic about what would happen if we could like edit our like genetic makeup and maybe like mute that extra chromosome. And I guess there's like some ethical components to debate when it comes to that topic, but that's for people with way more subscribers, I mean like degrees, than I have. But yeah, that's just a little bit of the science side of Down syndrome in case you guys were interested or just didn't know or whatever. But the important thing when you watch a show like this is to realize that people living with Down syndrome are much more alike neurotypical people than we are different. So I hope you give this show a chance and, you know, get to see these people look for love because they deserve it just like we do. Anyway, like I said in the beginning of the video, this show was done in consultation with the New Zealand Down Syndrome Association. And if you want to like learn more or find out ways you can support, you could like check out right here. And I got the link in the description of this video. And one organization that I found here in the United States that seems pretty legit with a very high Charity Navigator score is called the ARC. I think they're based out of DC. Their mission is promoting and protecting the human rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and actively supporting their full inclusion and participation in the community throughout their lifetimes. Very, very cool. So if you want to learn more about them or find out ways you can support or donate or whatever, that information is floating around here somewhere and of course in the description of this video. All 5 episodes of Down for Love are available exclusively on Netflix right now. As always, thanks for checking out Tate's Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, let me know if you plan on checking this show out or if you already checked it out. Did you enjoy this show? Have you ever even heard about this show? It's one of those shows that I don't think a lot of people are going to watch, unfortunately. I hope they do and, you know, hope that they enjoy it. But I think it's a pretty cool show. So let me know if you guys check it out and what you think about it if you do check it out. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. Also, if you're still here, did you know that like National Down Syndrome Day is March 21st, which is 3/21. So it's like the 21st chromosome, like, because there's 3 of them. Fucking genius. And now you guys know what that means, because, hello, Tate's Take. Oh, you guys already knew? Yeah, why nobody told me? That's crazy. I'm always like the last to know everything. It's like people just be knowing stuff, and then they're like, should we tell Tate? And like, nah, he's good.